The cold wind pushed through the empty street, carrying a kind of silence that only winter nights understand. People hurried past with their collars up, eyes down, pretending not to notice the man sitting against the brick wall. His jacket was torn, his boots worn thin, and beside him lay a small cardboard sign with shaky handwriting. Vietnam veteran. Hungry. Anything helps. His name was Daniel, and before life broke him, he was someone the world once clapped for. For months he sat there unseen. Cars passed, footsteps echoed, doors opened and closed, but nobody stopped. The world had become something he watched, not something he lived in. Every night he wondered how life had changed so fast, from uniform and medals to a blanket and a paper cup. But this night had a different kind of quiet. Daniel's fingers trembled as he reached for something wrapped in an old T-shirt, something he hadn't touched in years. A guitar, faded, scratched, missing one string, but still alive. He wiped the dust with the sleeve of his jacket and let out a weak laugh. "It's been a long time, old friend," he whispered. He looked around. People were still passing. Nobody cared. Still, he placed the guitar on his lap, closed his eyes, and breathed deeply. And then he began to play. The music didn't start with confidence. It began like a broken memory, trying to heal. His fingers fumbled the first few notes, stiff from cold, stiff from years of silence. But then something shifted. His hands remembered what his mind had forgotten. The melody grew steadier, warmer, fuller. In the middle of that freezing sidewalk, Daniel played a song he wrote decades ago, a song he used to play for his daughter when she was 5 years old. A lullaby she loved, a lullaby he hadn't heard since the night she was taken away from him in family court because he couldn't fight his PTSD anymore. A young woman walking by stopped, then a couple, then a man holding a coffee. People started turning their heads, slowing down, listening, because the sound coming from that broken guitar wasn't ordinary. It was aching. It was raw. It sounded like a man pouring years of pain into 6 strings. Daniel opened his mouth and sang. His voice wasn't perfect, but it was real. It carried cracks from war, scars from life, and memories that never healed. His voice trembled through the cold air, and strangers felt something tighten in their chest. A little girl tugged her mother's coat and whispered, "Mom, why is that man sad?" Her mother knelt and said softly, "Honey, he's singing his story." Within minutes, a small crowd gathered. People took out their phones. Others recorded quietly. Some stood still, not wanting to breathe too loud, afraid they'd break the magic. An older man in a suit wiped his eyes. A teenager lowered his headphones, stunned. A woman with groceries simply froze, tears welling. And then the entire street fell silent. The only sound was Daniel's voice, echoing through the winter air. He finished the chorus with a long, shaking breath. For a moment he kept his eyes closed, afraid that when he opened them he'd still be alone. But when he finally looked up, dozens of people were staring at him, some crying, some smiling, all still. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. And then applause. Loud, thunderous applause. Daniel swallowed hard. He hadn't heard clapping for him in over 20 years. His hand shook so badly he nearly dropped the guitar. A man stepped forward and said, "Sir, I'm sorry. We should have seen you. We should have noticed you." A woman added, "Please play another." But Daniel shook his head. His voice cracked. I don't know if I remember more." "Then play the same one," someone shouted. "Yes, please." "We'll listen." So Daniel lifted the guitar again and played. This time the music was stronger, not because his fingers were warm, but because his heart was. He felt seen. He felt human again. A stranger placed a $20 bill in his cup. Then another. Then another. The cup filled so fast he had to empty it into his jacket pocket. People were donating not out of pity, but respect. A young man approached him with watery eyes. "Sir, I'm a music producer. If you let me, I want to record that song. The world needs to hear it." Daniel stared at him, speechless. I don't have a phone. I don't have anything." "You don't need anything," the producer replied. You already have what matters. Then something happened that made Daniel's entire world stop. A woman pushed through the crowd, holding the hand of a teenage girl. Her face was pale, eyes red, lips trembling. She stared at Daniel like she'd seen a ghost. "Dad?" Daniel froze. The guitar slipped from his hands and hit the pavement. Tears rushed down his face before he could speak. The girl stepped closer and whispered, "Mom told me you used to sing this song to me when I was little. I recognized it." Daniel covered his face with shaking hands. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again." The crowd watched in stunned silence. His daughter knelt beside him and wrapped her arms around his shoulders. "It's okay, Dad. I'm here now and I'm not leaving." The street was silent once again, but this time not because of sadness, because of hope. Daniel's daughter looked at the producer. "I want the world to hear his song. I want them to know who he really is." People recorded the moment. Some clapped. Some just cried quietly. Within hours, the video of Daniel singing spread online like wildfire. Millions watched. Thousands donated. Veterans reached out to help. Families, strangers, organizations. Everyone wanted to lift him back up. Within 1 week, Daniel had a warm bed, clean clothes, therapy support, and most importantly, his daughter sitting beside him. And every night before they slept, he played her that same lullaby. But now, it wasn't a memory of what he lost. It was a reminder of what he got back. Sometimes the world needs to fall silent, just to hear the voice it should have listened to all along.